So many guys out there. We don't know what they was. The drama continues. That's all. We just had a present. But you want it to be true. You make it true. So you get clicks, but when you go personal, what's really going on? Like, what's going on, y'all? This Greg. Greg said it. Back with another one. going on? What's going on here on this, what they call it, afternoon? Greg said it. Supposed to start at 2, got a little behind. I definitely want to jump in here on this wonderful Memorial Day weekend. I wonder about Memorial Day. We don't, some folks make a holiday out of everything. I thought Memorial Day is kind of like similar to Veterans Days, like a Memorial Day about people who died in war. But we don't make this thing something. We don't make this thing into a whole party, man. We find a reason to party. 4th of July, Memorial Day, Father's Day, any day. Gonna find a way to grill out this time of year. So, I know people got things to do today and tomorrow and all that good stuff. So, I definitely want to stop through. And speaking of stopping through, y'all see that Tanggula box rolling at the bottom. I did a video this week, I believe it was this week. Did a little demo, so y'all go check that out. I've been talking about that for a minute. It's definitely coming down the pipe. I did a little video showing how you can find Shador, only Shador. Just like Cleveland. You also look at the cities he play in, but you'll better catch all those games. So y'all go check that out on how to not miss a Shador game. And that applies to everybody. But I'll be doing more videos. So y'all go check that out. Anywho, what's going on? People coming in the room. Y'all, we have some updates this week. Some breaking news, with the Sanders folks. Yeah, I get 2 days off in a row. Some people have it. I get Monday off and all that good stuff. So, people say 3. Well, I guess you include the weekend. Okay. Yeah, go get you some grilled chicken and hamburgers and all that good stuff. You're going to need a good detox after all of this. I'm telling you now. All that beef and all that good stuff you're going to be eating. But like I was saying, what was I? We got the boys making some headway, y'all. Y'all let me know. We got a couple good things that happened this week that we definitely got to review. When we come together on Sundays, it's more like a review on what happened throughout the week, especially in the off season. It's not a whole lot, but it's a whole lot when it comes to the Sanders guys. Because even though Colorado is quiet right now and they're getting ready for the summer practices, and they're going to rev that up, but they keep that. Shador got us busy. He gone. He's still keeping us busy. And that's where it's going to be. I mean, as these years go by, you see these boys go to the next level. You got that content, which is a spinoff from what we've been talking about, because we've been following these guys 2-3 years. So, of course, we're going to see what they're doing, especially in their transition to the NFL with Travis and Shador and all these folks. So, it would not be of any service if we didn't talk about what's going on with them. But the Sanders family as a whole had some wins this week. First off, we've been talking about Shador and Cleveland and how they've been kind of playing this weird game with the family, with all the way back to the draft. Really before the draft, really you pay attention, they've been playing this game for years. We just wasn't taking it serious. We were just like, there's no way they can play that mess with Shador. They tried to play him. He came. He scored like 5 touchdowns his first game over here in that big league. And, we shut that mess down. And people, he's a 5th rounder and all that mess, They've been trying to speak that for a long time. He's not a 1st rounder, no matter what numbers he put up. So, at the end of the day, the Sanders family looked like they cutting through this. Shador head coach got on there. I don't know if it's PR or what, but he got on there. I love everything about Shador. I like everything about Shador. He's this, he's that. From the standpoint of what the media was trying to spin, is like it's damage control. But, it's good coming from your coach, because you had another program, another organization say, you was so hard to deal with. Since when? Since when has been his reputation? I don't know. You can guess it, but they say, he's hard to deal with. He has an attitude. He doesn't study. He don't care about football. All the crap they put out there. Then you get with an organization, they say, it don't matter what you do before, it's what you do here. Then you had here for just a few weeks, and now your coach is saying, you're just so wonderful. That's big for Shador. That's huge for Shador, because at the end of the day, if you don't have your coaches say something positive about you, eventually that narrative is going to run away. And they began to run away with that narrative up there when you talk about what the Giants were saying. They's like, I don't know what badge honor they got to destroy Shador, but they was the one team that you hear about that would say anything negative about Shador. Especially when it comes to his interviews. But to have his coach come out, his current coach, say, oh, he's doing everything right. He's standing at the practice. Stuff that we feel and has been how we felt about Shador the whole time. We never seen him as a lazy dude or a selfish dude. Everybody run their mouth, but nobody sitting here watching this can say that. Nobody in his organization can say that. So for them to try to pump that out, that's really low. Because I mean, you can say a lot of things about a lot of people, but why lie about people? You know that stuff's not true. So at the end of the day, Shador had a big win. We also see that, yeah, Coach Prime, they say Coach Prime is recruiting well. You know, he's like lineman on top of lineman. It's raining linemen in Colorado. All kinds of linemen. Everything. That was their biggest issue. It looked like it won't be their issue going forward. I mean, from this year to the next year to the next, the quality of linemen is a lot different in size and talent. So, you know, that whole just getting tossed up, you know, people who, like a Jordan Seaton, he's not gonna be perfect, but as a freshman, he had a certain confidence about himself and a belief in himself. He's not gonna go get dogged out even as a freshman. Because when you live to a certain standard, you've been a certain quality of player, there's certain things you're just not gonna let happen. You're just not gonna let happen. So it's like, you know, you bring guys in with that attitude, no matter what age they are, they're just not gonna just get punked like that on the football field. So, you know, shout out to Coach Prime. He's still getting tight ends and everything that he needed. You know, he had plenty of receivers. I don't know what the running back room. I mean, it ain't changed much. You know, speaking of that, Augusta, um, man, just put a pin in what we talking about. Augusta go out there to Virginia and whatever got the okie doke. Once again, he got Amos, but he was already there. Had a pretty much a position in place, as far as what we know. We didn't see anything otherwise. And get tricked out of his starting position to go somewhere, lose it, lose the trust, lose the relationship. Now you end up nowhere. To the point where he went there, it must have been so raggedy that he pulled back out. That's a telltale sign. You pull back out before you even get there. And then you go all the way out there, and now you out there in limbo. And who knows where you end up at? Kent State? Don't go to Georgia State. You know what they say about Georgia State. I'm in Georgia. You know that's why all the Colorado running backs go. Colorado players' career go to die. Amos already going there, so they're already showing you the wrong direction. He don't make no good decisions for nothing. You hear me? So at the end of the day, this thing. At the end of the day, y'all, it's looking all right. Now they got their little what his name? Hit his name already. The diversity in the running back room is almost there in my eyes. I think that I still would like to see a big back. Augusta could have been a bit back. He put on a little more weight. He was already at 250. I feel like 225 be good. Big back. Because you went and got your little Dylan Edwards style back. Little fast guy. You already got a little battle axe. You got a little Welch. Hood gone. It would be nice to have a big back. I don't know what you would get at this point. You know, the portal closed, stuff like that. So the running back room not changed much. But that line. What do you say about that line? Can't complain about the line anymore. Hopefully not. They got to do some doggone deliverance if they do. You go get a whole slew of line. You shouldn't have those issues. You got the depth. You got the ability to pick. You got 3-4 line coaches, NFL coaches. You got an NFL Hall of Fame at running back. I mean, you got everything you need. You got a Super Bowl quarterback coach. Well, I only call it, QB coach. You shouldn't have no issues on moving the ball. Some brains can come together. Hey, we know bad info when it come out your mouth. When it's wrong, we know you caught bad. I mean, other people can be fooled. Hood is out there. Like one hood in Tennessee, the other one he went to was it UMass, something like that. They got a home. You know, they got a home. You know, listen, I mean, I don't think they're gonna pull out. Now, how you go to UMass? I don't know. I hate to see these boys move around like that. And I don't know their prior situation. Because at the end of the day, when you look at these guys, you only hope for the best. I don't know. JB never fully left. JB didn't commit to another school and come back months later. JB was hinting at going. And yes, I'm at the 3 o'clock show, like I said. Supposed to be two, got behind, had to run some errands. Woo, still trying to get up out of here, honestly. So I need to sit down somewhere. I've been running around all morning here. Been up. I feel like, man, like I don't have 2 days already. So that's why we're here at 3, or close to 3. I said, I'm going to get it in. I'm not going to skip. I'm going to get it in because we got a little behind. What happened on days like this. And I usually do days like this early if I have something to do later. But I had to do something early. So I had to bump it back a little bit. But the thing with Hood, that and really a lot of these guys, especially when they transfer, I hate to see. That's one thing nobody want to talk about. Now how I talk about it. They don't want to talk about, like, how do you get so many guys that you get transfer and end up going to multiple schools? Now, I'm not talking about multiple schools like you went somewhere, you're going to go there for your senior year or your graduate year. I'm talking about before they even really get to do anything, they end up jumping schools. I hate seeing that. I hate seeing, like, for example, Hood was in Auburn. It wasn't a bad situation. He was about to play. Then it's like, okay, it makes sense to go to Colorado. That's where you're going to be. You go to Colorado for 1 year, and you have to end up go somewhere else. It's like, I just rather you had stayed at Auburn. I mean, this was a situation where, like, it was an upgrade. I mean, you was at Auburn. You end up going back to the SEC. I don't know. I mean, the people. It's not like you weren't gonna play. It's not like you weren't gonna get what you thought you were gonna get. I know your brothers and all that weren't cousins weren't gonna be there, but like, yeah, you gonna be closer to home to Tennessee, but they ain't gonna be there either. So it's just I hate that city boy move around like that. And Auguste, he was at what Arkansas, and then he came here, then he there, and it's like it's really going down. If you want to consider Big 12 down from SEC, and he was going back to ACC or whatever, and it's like now where you go at this time of year? Where you go? What did you get to do this time of year? Coming in, mid spring, this that. What do you jump in and really go to get a position? Get acclimated with the plays and get opportunities. The other running backs there, they put in the work. They got relationship. They're there wherever you go. You was in the front. Now you kind of working to the back or from the back. Why? They said Western went to. Did he go to? We went to West Kentucky. Again, that's another one. He came with his brother, so it's all good, I guess. But for him to jump back out there and go somewhat lower, I mean, he was at Florida Atlantic, right? He was at Florida Atlantic. Isn't that where my guy went down there? Is it Willis Simmons? See what I'm saying? You love FAU, and everybody want to go there. I think Willis Simmons there now. That's a big thing. He was there. He left. Now he go to another. It's like you went to 3 schools just to play. It'd been better probably you stayed where you was at. I just don't know. I know people got to take risks, opportunities, but I hate to see them move like that. You got grades for one. Like, what them transcripts looking like? I don't know what the cause of it all, but like, what them transcripts look like? You know, how does it affect your graduation? Because where you going, you ain't going no pro. You know whatever going on, especially you unstable like that. You going down. Can you get your degree? Are you keeping up with your grades when you keep transferring? How does it affect your credits? Like, I know back in the day, I know you moved to another state, sister. They liable to take the whole last year like it ain't happened. Them credits ain't transferring. They used to do that kind of stuff. I don't know what they're doing now. So it's just things that people don't think about. Maybe they didn't play ball. Maybe they didn't play ball in college. Maybe they didn't go to college. But it's like it's other stuff going on. Yeah, I mean, and then you caught out there. Okay, you don't get a scholarship, so now you ain't in school because you don't want to pay for school because you waiting to get picked up, and you sitting out there 2 3 years. You sure enough ain't completing school. Now, you should have stayed where you at. Maybe you would have completed school. You had a better chance to complete school. Somebody gonna keep you accountable. They gonna pay for it. You on scholarship. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. It's weird. It's weird, y'all. I mean, unless somebody did it, I don't know. I point out, you feel bad because now they likely put themselves in a worse situation by transferring. Yeah, yeah, it's transferring is never an easy thing because you got to get acclimated. You going into think about it. If you was at your school in the spring, you going somewhere. No matter where you going, you going somewhere where people who already been there, they've already got the reps. They already was recruited by that person or whatever. They already have a relationship, understand the system. They already have that going on. Then you go there and you got to learn all of that in a couple months. And there's only so much you can do. It's kind of like Shador out there, what we were talking about. It's only so much you're gonna be able to do rep wise because you go out there and originally you just working out. You ain't got no equipment. You can't go out there and knock nobody head off and prove nothing. Then by the time you do get an equipment, they only give you so many weeks, a couple weeks, whatever, before the first game. And even still, what they gonna be doing? They ain't going full speed. So what do you get to prove at a position that requires you to hit and tackle? They might not even be letting you tackle like that. I don't know. I know Coach Prime didn't want you doing that. So the only thing you really can show is what you know the plays. That's a tight situation to be in because you do need to know the plays, but you got to go learn your plays in a matter of weeks. Really less. You got that a couple weeks total to do it, but you got to go out there as early as possible, showing you know what you're doing. And them players that's out there may have been out there since January, or they might have been there 2-3 years. You coming from a situation where you had the advantage, being the guy already there, and you're not quite in a position, but you're in a better position to get there from the third linebacker, fourth linebacker, and a guy who's been there, they're trying to get you in. You in a better position to get in there than go somewhere totally new. Yeah, you feel you more talented, but you got to learn everything. And there's other guys there you got to beat out. You coming from further behind there, and you may consider it lower talent, but you got to look at the fact you coming from further behind. I don't know. I don't know what made these boys jump. I don't. Maybe this the brother thing. I think the brother thing is a gift and a curse because you look at the fact that okay, my brother is gone. I don't want to stay. Hood left. His brother ain't gonna be there no more. I'm gone. Maybe Wester like my brother gone. I'm gone. Maybe that's the gift and the curse of the brother thing. Everybody their brothers when they brothers die is cool. Shadows a brother. Shadows they gone. Brother gone. Maybe it was tied to the brother. I don't know. You can't stand on your own. Maybe it's a true package deal. I don't know. But I will tell you this. They said them boys getting tricked. Possibly. Sometimes you think your value is higher. I don't know. But I will tell you this, what I do know. It looks like it would be a great story or some kind of whatever. But when you see what's going on with the Sanders family, they're the core of all this. We also heard that Bucky is getting that NFL access that Shador asked about. When he said, I'm worried about your dad. Maybe they getting over the dad, hopefully. Because it looked like they're going to give Bucky the access to film. That's a big deal. Because one, if they're going to give them the access, maybe they start and feel we can't beat them, join them. Maybe we need to capitalize all this publicity and the eyeball versus try to put them in their place. Maybe now we could trust them enough. Because I'm going to tell y'all something. I probably ain't said it here, but I'm going to say it. It was telling to me, everybody talk about Donald Trump and everything. That's when he made the post about Shador. People always it did throw his name in the darn thing. They started talking about he made the comment and he made Shador get drafted. That's whatever. Because that was like the first day, after the first day or something like that. And he's a sports guy. He had a football organization. He had that UFL and stuff before it was all, a big deal. So, he could talk about sports. But I don't think it had nothing to do with him necessarily like that. I mean, like people try to make it. But everybody looked on the fact that Coach Prime made a comment on that second day when he walking out there, they were throwing football, waiting for Shador to get drafted. And he said, man, take my kids off the cross. Leave my kids alone. Come after me. Then he stopped back, double back like in traditional Prime fashion. He took them glasses out. He looked at the camera. He said, I'm serious. To me, I feel like that probably was more the reason what. Because it seemed like not long after that, like the next day. But it's like clearly he wasn't coming out that day. If anything, that may have made, I don't know what that meant or what conversation happened after that, but it wasn't long after that that Shador got drafted. Maybe it was that signal that they wanted to get from Coach Prime to let Shador through. Because at that point, looked like they weren't going to let him through. Because that had already went ridiculous. He went way past where he supposed to be drafted at that point. But when Coach Prime made that comment, it looks like, shoot, we're going to let him come on through, y'all. That's what it looked like to me. I could be wrong. But that makes more sense to me than you say Trump message. I mean, he make a message. He could like sports, man. He could like sports like anybody else do, and he has like sports. But that wasn't a political nothing. But I think if anybody had any input, whatever he said when he looked in the eyes and said, "Leave my kids alone," they left him alone. Now you're looking at the term. Okay, he with a team. His team said, "Oh, we're gonna have a four-way quarterback competition." They're like, "What kind of crap is that? He fifth round. Why he? Nobody owe him that." And it's like, boom, boom, boom. He in a situation where he could get the reps. At least they saying it. They'd be dumb not to. Then you look at, okay, Bucky again. They letting Bucky in. You already see he in, but you like, oh, he there with Shador as a guest. Man, he got that camera. NFL don't play that. He getting to use their content in the agreement that they ain't as dumb as they seem, but they dumb. But from a marketing standpoint, they shouldn't be that dumb because they know, look here, if Bucky brought that much attention to Colorado, then guess what? Maybe we can piggyback off of that. I mean, we can be arrogant and say, "Oh, we the NFL," but nobody checking for the NFL. But he is the fresh thing right now. If we can leverage what Bucky doing with this individual, I guess you would call one-on-one type of content that he's doing, this raw content, maybe we can leverage that because we can't stop it because everybody watching it. We can't stop it. So it looks like to me a tie has turned for them, in a sense. I'm gonna keep watching it. Like I said, I'm gonna keep watching. Like I tell you every week, I'm gonna keep watching it. But for them to let him semi-officially come through there like that, and with the NFL brand at stake, and they let him do that, maybe it's not gonna be as bad because if they didn't want them around, they should block him. That you ain't gonna be around because now they see he got leverage with Shador, he got leverage with Shiloh, he got leverage with Jimmy and LeJounte. So you got guys out there right now that Now other guys still trying to make the team, but you got those guys who really their programs like they know they got to steal. Like I call it the Shador slide. They push Shador all the way in the back, and everybody got pushed with them. They know good and doggone well Shador won fifth, and them boys won seventh round guys, 6th round, 7th round guys. But they got them because Shador. Because they weren't going to take them before Shador. Because they would look like real Shador haters. Oh, all of a sudden these guys ahead of him. So everybody had to slide. And Shiloh went all the way back to free agent. We would count like Shiloh could be a 5th-round draft pick, 4th-round draft pick. Really. So when them boys slid, it was kind of thoughtful that LeJounte would have been a third, no later than 4th-round pick. Really. From what they hear, all the scouts was looking at him. Jimmy had scouts looking at him. These guys would have got taken a lot. So everybody know they got to steal. They got Shador 1st-round, 5th. Them guys basically 3rd and 4th-round picks. So everybody like, ooh, everybody like, y'all got these old poor draft picks here, and y'all excited, and they shouldn't let y'all the fools because at the end of the day, we know these are 3rd-round guys. These are at least 3rd-round guys, and we got them for the low. And all these guys pretty much getting the nod like, hey, not only they going to just make the team, they going to be contributors to the team their first year. Nobody talking about that. We talk about Shador, but nobody talking about the nods that Jim is getting, the nod that LeJounte is getting. They getting that nod. Not just, oh, you're going to be a special team. They getting the reps like they going to play as rookies and be key contributors to their program. Now, everybody talking about how many receivers got that Shador got. Oh, Shador got these many receivers more than anybody. But next they're gonna be talking about not only did he get the most players, but Colorado gonna have the most teams with key contributors on there. They're gonna be looking like guys from Georgia. You got multiple teams with a Colorado player as a key contributor in the same year, in their first year. That's not normal. That would be the dumbest thing they could do is cut Shador. I'll tell you that now. Well, it's not that the narrative gonna stop, but they do give you a glimpse of it. Is they trying to destroy this family or they not? That's what we trying to see. We know Shiloh a head buster, and Shiloh ain't no rookie. I mean, Shiloh what 25 plus years old. He's not a normal rookie. He older than a lot of the guys who've been there 2-3 years. So he playing the game. He know how to play the game. I'm gonna buy y'all snacks. I'm gonna do all that, but don't get it twisted. I'm an alpha around here. I'm gonna do my dues. So next year I had a right. I'm gonna go along, but I'm the alpha dog around here. I ain't a regular rookie. What's going on? He said, at the same time. I don't know. Is B Watts on? I don't know. He should be on at 03. B Watts come on at 8. Something like that. I don't think no B Watts on. Not I know of. He might be. Let me see. I don't think no B Watts on. Not that I know of. Like I said, I just ran a little late. I'm gonna be off in a minute, really. Um, yeah, they gonna post what sale at this point. They should know by now. They can't be done. They can't be done. He's got a jam, but not management believer. They say he on. Yeah, I don't see no notification. He might be. Maybe he went on early. But this usually not his time. Yeah, I ain't gonna be on much long. I supposed to be out myself. I supposed to be gone right now. Yeah, I supposed to be gone, but I end up on here. Um, like I said, I ran behind a little bit, but I definitely wanted to get this conversation with y'all because at the end of the day, we got to do our little weekly close out. I got to find a way to do my inspiration motivation. Try to be consistent. There's one thing that I've tried to do. As busy as I get, I try to be consistent, even in the off season. That's why I cut the off season down. So last couple of weeks been like regular time. Uh, you know, last couple weeks been regular time, and I've been doing like over hours a lot. But yeah, I'm gonna cut this one short because I just plan on getting on about 30 on the average, weekly, live kind of check in, what's going on, what's big. And right now, that's the big news as of recently. The updates this week is looking on the up for Shador. His team seems to gonna give him opportunity. The coach, at least they saying the right things. They're gonna give him a shot. And Bucket getting access with that camera, that's a positive thing for them. Because at one point it looked like they wanted to blackball him. And maybe they did want to blackball him, but maybe they smart enough to say if we can't beat them, we're gonna join them. You know, I don't know what happened with Shepard. That was kind of hush. I mean, we felt a physical. I don't know if that's a personal health issue. I don't know how it wouldn't have came up before. You know, but I don't know what's the deal with Shepard. We kind of like just like we didn't really hear. We heard rumors of why Shadoze ain't got a shot. You hear rumors, and it kind of died beyond the buzz. Really, it was so much buzz with Shador at that time. It really didn't get a whole lot. It was mentioned, but everybody was still trying to figure out what's going on with Shador, and then a number situation came up, and a lot of stuff came up, and all of that. So, like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and close it out. I just say y'all want to see B Watts. I plan on getting about 30 minutes just to jump in here and kind of get with y'all a little bit. Make sure y'all like, share, make sure y'all subscribe, all that good stuff. Because as we see stuff popping up, and it's gonna keep popping up, and I'm gonna make sure I'll be here to do our review on Sunday. I drop videos throughout the week. That's why y'all want to subscribe. Also, remember the Tanggula box is out there. You see that defeat cable.com. Some of y'all know, some of y'all don't. But that's gonna be the thing, man. We got all these players gonna need your box, and that box gonna pay for itself within a couple of months versus your stream cable bill. Plus you got movies and TV and all that on there. So y'all make sure y'all check that out. Do yourself a favor, save yourself some money, get yourself some assets here. All right. Is Travis Bro coming to see you? I guess that's the topic another day. I don't know. We got another year. I don't know. But y'all have a good one. Go get y'all some barbecue and all that good stuff. This Greg said the show. And we out. Y'all have a good one.